And oh my gosh, I'm so excited to drop it like it's hot here. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? I've just had such an amazing week spending it with so many people who came to my 4-day challenge to learn the $1 million offer system, to learn how to have a cash infusion into their business by working higher, not harder, right? If you're just joining live or if you're catching the replay, let me know where you're joining from and I'll try to respond to the comments when I see them. But what's up, everybody? For those of you who might not know me, my name is Kristen Gutierrez. I have a frog in my throat, an infected eye, and I'm showing up no matter what because I help entrepreneurs create a cash infusion in their business without causing you to hustle, burn out, or work 60-hour weeks ever again. Does that sound just like amazing? Because I don't know, like I grew up in the 80s, I'm 42, and the hustle culture is real, but like it's not sustainable and it's really not rewarding. You get rewarded by micro bursts of progress. There is a way that you can have so much energy and action without the hustle. Like, who here wants to work smarter, not harder? And this is why gone are the 60-hour plus weeks that so often we have to endure. Obviously, once in a while that might be the case, but how can we set up a business that has a team working for you? How can you set up a business where you're charging more money and delivering more value and having a bigger impact on those that you serve without having to grind it out on the back end, right? It's amazing. And this was the premise of our 4-day challenge. Now, we did a lot of amazing things in that challenge, but I had an epiphany. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to share that epiphany. You see, when we learn a new system, someone say system in the comments, system in the chat. When we learn a new system, the person teaching it to us has learned from trial and error, from lots of money, from lots of hours, from lots of people probably, how things should go or could go or didn't go. The person you're learning from has spent time, energy, and money learning this system, self-taught and learning from others, and then combining the best of everything and serving it up to you on a platter. And the goal, I know from anybody who sells things, is to help make your life easier, better, more profitable, whatever the end result is that you're trying to achieve, right? In corporate for translation services, I'm trying to help my clients achieve return on investment or more global revenue from the translated products. If we're serving hospitals, we're trying to help doctors and the staff be able to communicate with their patients in the language of the patient, language access. If you're an entrepreneur selling a course, the result you're serving up with that course is to help them achieve X, Y, or Z result, right? The thing I'm so passionate about is helping entrepreneurs create a cash infusion in their business. And I teach a system embedded with lots of different frameworks within it to help move the needle. The epiphany I had is, as I teach others this framework and they implement it into their business, they will undoubtedly, because now they're not at step zero. Like, you started at zero and you gained all that knowledge and you gained all that skill and you invested all your money and time and energy to learning the thing. And now you're bringing somebody else along with you, right? They're like, oh my gosh, Kristen, that's amazing. I want to learn this system that you have to generate 6-figure months into your business, to generate 7-figure days into your business. What is that system? And so somebody pays you to learn the system, and they're not starting at zero. You're compressing the time it takes them to go from A to Z, right? Here's the thing. By the expert, the person teaching you now that skill set, we're teaching you the strategy to compress the time, but you still have, maybe it's limiting beliefs, maybe it's tweaking the system to make it work for you, maybe it's taking action. W. Clement Stone says the number one enemy to wealth is delay, is not taking action. So often, not taking action is going to stop us from getting anything done. I like to say imperfect action, one step in front of the other. If we can learn how to take massive imperfect action, we can get after anything in life. We have to realize that the imperfection of the action will result in failing forward, needing to pivot, changing things up, doing things a little different. It's kind of like baking a cake or some chocolate cookies. We talked about this today in the training. Baking is a very precise science. It's often not Emeril Lagasse who just like throws in a little bam and throws in a little bam to make up this amazing dish. Often, track with me, right? Because yes, there's naysayers for everything, but often a cake or cookies needs to be baked precisely with the right amount of ingredients at the right oven temperature for the right amount of time in order to get the desired results. So say you're buying that recipe from somebody to implement into your business. And let's just say, for the argument's sake, it is chocolate cookies and it doesn't specify which kind. Like, is that okay with you if we use this as an example? So you go out and buy Ghirardelli chocolate because you think it's the best. And the recipe didn't say Toll House, and it didn't say Lily's sugar-free chocolate chips. It just said chocolate chips. So you went out and bought the chocolate chips that you thought were going to make these cookies like the next level top tier cookies. And guess what happened? You live in a different place. You have a different altitude. Your oven is new or it's old, right? So like you set the oven to the temperature, you set the timer per the recipe, you blend all the ingredients together, and whether you use Ghirardelli or Toll House, whether you use Kirkland butter or whatever butter, right? Margarine, like it should work because you followed the precise instructions, and it will work. You'll get cookies. But like, why are some people's chocolate chip cookies way better than other people's chocolate chip cookies when they use the exact same recipe? It's because the person over here who has the perfect chocolate chip cookie with the perfect crispiness, the perfect inside, like maybe I should go make some chocolate chip cookies for the kids after school. They have perfected it over and over and over again. And so you're learning the recipe for the first time, and you went out and bought the things that the recipe called for, and you cooked it in your oven at the right temperature, at the right amount, but yours don't taste exactly like theirs, although you still made chocolate chip cookies. Like, right? Like, is that okay with you? If you have to take the system and tweak it and refine it, maybe add in a dash of cinnamon, maybe try a different brand of chocolate chips, maybe adjust the oven temperature based on how you know your oven cooks versus the altitude you live in. It's taking the exact system, the recipe, and making it work for you. Now, the best systems, the best recipes are going to produce the desired result. But if I can be real with you for a minute, the epiphany I had is, depending on the system you learn. So if you're learning my system, right, how to create a cash infusion into your business by selling higher premium, irresistible ticketed offers and selling it one to many and using all of these strategies in order to have people buying from you left, right, and center, this system works. It worked for Anita. It worked for Tin Man. It worked for Jackie. It worked for so many people. And I actually have all these crazy testimonials of people that it's worked for. The thing is, when you put it in your business and you go off and you bake the cookies, you're you. And do you have a team or do you not have a team? And what time of day are you showing up to do the training? And who are you leveraging in the background to drive people to attend? And how many of those people are attending versus registering and not attending, right? There's so many factors, just like baking cookies, the same recipe, but there are factors, the brand of ingredients, the oven temperature, your oven itself, your altitude. Like, I'm not even making it up. These are real factors in baking, the precise thing that you want to bake. You can't figure it out. You can take this exact recipe and make it work for you. But my epiphany is that, like, when you learn this system, when you learn any system, when you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars like I have and spend hours and hours and hours so that you can work higher, not harder, smarter, not harder. And you know that you have this course or this low ticket item or this higher ticket community or this higher ticket thing. Maybe you already have a $5,000 or $10,000 offer. Maybe you already have a $200 or $500 offer. Maybe you're just toying with what this looks like. This system will work. I have seen it work for people with no offers, people with well converting offers, and people with super engaged audiences who aren't selling anything. There is an absolute way to make this system work in your business. But there's an art in learning how to reach out to people with big audiences and ask them to collaborate with you. There is an art to learning how to tell stories that drive and change people's beliefs and drive them to wanting to work with you. There is an art to all of this. And, like, is it okay if we just, like, put our ego aside for a second and say, like, I'm willing, I've spent money, I've spent time, I've spent energy, and I'm willing to humble myself and say that where I am today isn't getting me to where I want to go. And so why not learn a new approach? The perfect way to describe this is, you might know, I've spent my whole life selling. I say I have 20 years in corporate sales. I sold Yellow Page advertising. I worked retail all growing up. I sold yogurt at the yogurt store. My family, my dad, my mom, my sister, my siblings, they're all salespeople one way or another. My attorney sister might not admit that, but she is, right? No matter all of my experience and where I come from, I don't know everything as it relates to sales. I've sat through so many amazing sales trainings, both as a corporate employee and as an entrepreneur. I'm constantly learning. I love listening on Audible to different books. DM me if you want the book or comment below, whatever, if you want the book I'm listening to right now. I love learning. And I love when I learn from somebody else who's 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 steps ahead of me, who knows a better way of telling stories, for example, right? Like, is that okay with you if you can put your ego aside? They're going to say, people in your life are going to say, like, no, that can't be done. Or they're going to say, like, no, you already have the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. Like, you're fine. Or they'll say, like, why are you being so greedy? Or they'll say, like, who says you're the expert to make chocolate chip cookies? Like, what on earth? But if you feel called and compelled to work harder, higher, to work higher, not harder, to work smarter, not harder, if you feel called and compelled to serve more people, to have a bigger impact, I would argue all you need to do is find the system that is going to work for your business. Because what's definitely hard and frustrating and hustle culture is thinking that you need to do it all alone and constantly burning the candle at both ends and spinning your wheels like a hamster, right? And not leaning into others who can help. And when you lean into others and when you find this system, yes, the system is going to compress time. My system will compress time for you. My system will help you physically rewrite what you're already offering, make them irresistible, and stack them in a way. My system will teach you the choreography of a 5-day event or a 4-hour masterclass and how to make that work for you in your voice, in your tone, in your style, but leveraging the system's story framework and various components, right? And the system will work for you whether you have an audience or not, because we teach this concept that so many others teach, which is how to partner with others and use OPA, other people's audiences, while paying them for it on the back end, right? So it's really an incredible system. But I want you to know that because I've implemented the system or anybody else has implemented the system, that it has been tried and true for our offers, for our business, for whatever it is. But for you and your business, it might not go that well the first time. Like, am I allowed to say that? Can I just be so honest and vulnerable? You'll hear stories of people who have had massive, fast success, and that will inspire you and that will encourage you. You will have success, but if your success isn't rapid fire, it's not that the system doesn't work. It's that you need to go back, like the chocolate chip cookies, and tweak something about your environment. Is it the oven? Is it the calibration of the oven temperature? You can't adjust the altitude of where you live, so you have to adjust factors around it. And you need to keep going. And the bigger thing here is you need a support system of other people who are also baking cookies and learning this same recipe so that you can lean into them and so that you can hear the vulnerability of their stories and their shortcomings within this system. And you can see that not everybody has fast success, but that isn't to mean that the system doesn't work and there isn't success coming. Does that make sense? So this is my epiphany, is to help entrepreneurs who want this cash infusion into their business because they have debt to pay, because they don't know where their mortgage is coming from next month, or maybe they want to create something with this money or give it to others, right? Or go on vacation, okay? Or pay off their credit card debt, like whatever the cash is going to do for you and your business. This is how I help entrepreneurs flip the script and rethink. Who would have thought that one of my favorite things to do is to reverse engineer processes and say, how does it work? And then how can I make that work for me? And so one thing I love to do is spend tons of money, tons of hours, tons of energy going out to learn what other people are doing so that I can apply it to my own business. And it's been so fun. Like, I've self-called this look all week the Jenny from the Block look because I just can't right now with my raspy voice and my eyes and all the things, but I'm showing up and we're getting better and all the things, right? I just want you to know, and I want you to be inspired by the fact that use a system. If you don't have a system, use a system. Find somebody else that can give you a system, right? And when you implement this system or any other systems, even if it's the exact things, you have to take things with a grain of salt and know, well, she said that at the end of my challenge, people would be flooding my inbox with meeting invites, call requests. They would be filling out my application and doing a bunch of calls. And that might be true. And that is true for a lot of people. But if it's not true for you, that's okay. We need to run the play again. The beauty of this system is once you learn the play and have the confidence to fail forward, to test the system, to bake the cookies. Once you have the confidence to go to the store, bake the cookies, and taste them to see if they are exactly like you thought they would be or what needs to change. Should they be crispier or softer? Should you add salt on top or not? That is where the magic happens. Somebody say magic in the chat. That is where the magic happens. And so taking a system and trying and baking it, putting it together and baking it, and then seeing what the outcome is, and then going back to the system to say, what did I miss? What could I have done better? The only other way to do it, if I can be real with you, is to buy the perfect ingredients, is to lay the whole thing out, to plan the whole thing, and then be mega disappointed that it doesn't work. Ovens don't always work. Like, who talks about that? Like, ovens don't always work, right? We can't keep waiting around for the perfect moment to do something. So the epiphany is like, the more we are willing to take imperfect action toward our goals, toward our dreams, using a tested, viable, tried and true system or framework or methodology, the more we are willing to try it, the more we have to be willing to try. So try it, rinse and repeat, try it again, rinse and repeat, try it again, rinse and repeat, try it again, ask for help, go back to the system. Where can I tweak? Where can I get better? And before you know it, you'll become so good at the thing that you'll feel called and inspired to help others learn the system. And that'll be amazing. That'll be amazing, because enough people in the world couldn't know how to bake chocolate chip cookies, because there'll always be more mouths to feed with more chocolate chip cookies. There is like an abundance of money on this planet. There is an abundance of health. There is an abundance of wealth. There is an abundance of people, and people feel called to you that don't feel called to me. People feel called to me that don't feel called to you. And like, that's perfectly okay. Like, somebody's always going to want somebody else's chocolate chip cookies versus your own. But plenty of people are going to want the way that you bake your chocolate chip cookies, that little extra je ne sais pas that you put on top, right? Or bake inside, like how you package it or how crispy they are. They're always going to want how you have it to be delivered. But you need the confidence to know that it's might not be perfect out of the gate. Or what if it's perfect out of the gate and the second time you do it, it fails? It's like, then what happens? There's no right or wrong. I would rather people have massive success after success after success and then just like ride off into the sunset. But is it okay with you if it takes 2 tries, 3 tries, 4 tries, if you have to go back to the store to buy a different kind of butter or turn the temperature of your oven up or down slightly? Like, is it okay with you if some of your customers like crispy cookies and others like soft? Like, is that okay with you if you have to iterate and innovate? If you're still with me, right? Iterate and innovate in the chat. Iterate and innovate how you're producing this event, so that other people can hear about it and see about it. So I want to make an ask. So like, that's what I had to share with you. And it's a lot of like super ninja sauce, because if you can read between the lines, if you hear the analogies, if you hear all the metaphors, you'll know that like, no matter if you spend $1 million on a system or a dollar on, well, butter doesn't cost $1 or $10, This is the thing. A whole pack of butter practically costs $5, $10 these days, right? Oh man, the good old days are gone. So, however much you spend on the butter or the system, know that it might take you a minute to figure it out. And it's way more important that you start baking the cookies, start following the system, lean into the system, ask for help, and have a community around to help you, than it is to sit on the sidelines and say, well, I never got any chocolate chip cookies, which would be resentment. Or, so like, don't make the cookies ever, or delay in making the cookies because you wanted them to be perfect and you thought that, I truly believe like done is better than perfect because that allows us to iterate and innovate. But if you're sitting around like fine tuning every single thing, what happens if no one shows up? It's real out there, folks. Like, you're going to have the best intent, and then something will happen where your oven stops working and you needed to bake the cookies anyway. And you wasted all that time where this could have been like the 10th batch of cookies, and you'd have some cookies on reserve, and like it'd kind of be okay if like the oven broke this one time. Start following the system. I just encourage you all, like, start. Take massive imperfect action, plug into a system, and know that you're going to have to iterate and innovate along the way in order to make that system work for you. It's way more important for you and for the people that you're called to help that you keep showing up, janky eye and voice and all, and you just keep showing up, because people need what you have to offer. People need your voice, and they want to know that while the path from A to Z is pretty clear, follow these 4 steps, follow these 3 to 5 steps. It's often going to look a little up and down, up and down, up and down, and that's okay. But what took one person 5 years to learn might still only take you 1 year to learn. Like, is that okay? If your time frame is shortened by 4 years, is it okay if you have a fast start? Heck yeah. Like, get it. If you have a fast start, that's amazing. If you never slow down, that is amazing. But if you're like me or everyone else and you have to try and try again and try and try again and try and try again and try something new and try something different, I want you to know, like, you're in good company with me and I've got you. So go to $1,000,000offerchallenge.com. I'm getting ready to run another challenge. I'm going to announce the date soon, but just sign up and I will definitely let you know when that is. And then if you have an audience, if you're watching this, if you have an audience that you want to, what would I say? If you have people that know you, like you, trust you, and you want to partner with me, then I've got some great ideas in which we can make this a win for you, a win for your audience. Is that okay if I give you a win-win scenario, a win for you and a win for your audience? So let me know. That would be amazing. But other than that, thanks for listening. I hope this video was helpful. I try really hard to just show up and speak from my heart and tell stories that resonate, right? Make them practical, draw logical conclusions, take you on a journey. But is it okay if I'm still learning? So thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you like this look, and I will